guys, we are back. We're now going to talk about what really got us hooked, aka that first pair of shoes. So Gabby, why don't you lead this off and talk to us about that first shoe that made you fall in love with sneaker culture?
So it's a little tough for me because the pair that really made me fall in love is a little bit later in my sneaker pathway. I've always been into sports where I really thought I was like Sporty Spice in high school, had every color Adidas track pants, the Win ones, like the Missy Elliott collab with Adidas back in the day.
Ooh,
Like, oh yeah, I
yeah.
was like the flyest white girl on the block, let me tell you. Especially in prep school, they were like, we don't really know where she came from, but okay, cool.
Wait, it showed
And
up to your
so
tennis practice like with a
100%. My mom was like, I was like, what? Basketball shoes and tennis sneakers have the same bottom. They're both court sports. I also played basketball, so I had basketball shoes already. But the first pair, I think that really got me like into the culture. So Nike came out with these. I'm gonna show you. We're gonna do a little show and tell.
Ooh,
Oh shit.
look at those.
I'm still obsessed with these. I will say. So I know the wedge sneakers are no longer a trend, but these were just so beautiful. And I actually got these through um, a friend of mine who I met through Instagram. And that's kind of where social media really took a role
Mhm,
in my sneaker quest in general. But these are the Nike Sky High Dunks in the City collection. This is the NYC style with like
mhm.
the fur detail, the pebbling on the leather, just really, really nice and beautiful. And I was like, wow, this stuff is really cool. And that was kind of my first in with the culture of being like, oh,
Yeah.
there's people who have similar interests to me. And like, I don't feel creepy DMing some strange guy about sneakers. Like, yo, I'll meet you around
That's
the
right.
block with a garbage bag, like Canal Street kind of
Gabby
stuff.
sliding
But
into your DMs, but not for that, for your
I know,
sneakers.
sorry guys. Like, I'm sliding in your DMs. I'm not a DM slider when it comes to romance, but if it's sneakers, you know, it's like a match made in heaven. You know, it's a wonder I'm single, honestly. But yeah, so that was my first pair that I really fell in love with, and I don't know, it kind of really piqued my curiosity. Where at that point, like they weren't really targeting women's shoes. It was like
Hmm.
men got the better colorways, and sometimes still do. But Jordan's done a good job of changing that. But
Hmm.
I just think that it was cool to see like Bergdorf Goodman had those. When does
Yeah.
Bergdorf
Yeah.
carry Nikes? Like that was a
Yeah. Yeah.
movement in itself. And for me, I was like, oh, let me see what this sneaker game is about. I think it's really cool. And like I said, I know I'm a little late to the party in terms of being a Jordan loyalist, but um, that's the pair that really got me hooked.
I love it. You know, for
Mhm.
me, it's so interesting. The 80s was the first pair of Nike high tops that I remember getting. My uncle bought me a pair of Nike Delta Forces in like, I don't know,
Yeah.
88 or 87, somewhere around then. And you know, when you're a kid, like you grow out of shoes like relatively often, right?
Very
But I
quickly.
remember the day that I came to school with them, my friends were like, "Oh, look at those!" Like, and I was like, and like, I wasn't. I mean, I watched basketball and I knew, but I didn't. I wasn't making connections as to this is like a shoe that you know, because
Hmm.
even back again in the '80s, I didn't know that people were actually watching games and saying, "Oh, this is a shoe," and maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. I
Uh-huh.
don't know. But Nike was the brand, right? Or
Yep.
Adidas, or you had
Absolutely.
those shoes on. And so
Mm.
I remember that. But after that point, though, I would always get Nikes, but never like great Nike shoes
Lose you.
because, you know,
Hmm.
they were expensive, right? Like, and my parents are like, we're not buying you those. Like, you're crazy. So we would get, you know, just whatever was available, like, you know, just a regular like pair of Nikes with a swoosh on the side, whatever, but not like basketball shoes. Like, and I knew
Hmm.
the Jordans had them, but once lines were on the block and all that, my parents are very much like, first of all, ain't nobody waiting on no line to get no shoes. They cost over a
It's
hundred
cold
dollars.
out there.
You're
It's very
definitely
cold.
not getting any shoes for $100. Like, I don't have shoes for $100, so you're definitely not getting $100 shoes,
Yep.
right? So like, those were the kinds of things that were happening. But I was always mindful. So for me, I was always a Nike guy. Shouts to the swoosh,
Hmm.
right?
The fire jacket. I like it. Hmm.
Thank you. You know, got the nice colorway here, and so that was sort of my entree into the brand. So I will call myself a
Okay.
brand loyalist, right? Now, how did I get myself into sneakers? We talked a little bit about All Star and all the cool things there, and seeing Jordan Brand. And I've always, since I started covering the NBA, I'm around these
Yeah.
guys all the time now in the locker room, and they have nothing but shoes on, right? Like, of course, the ones they wear in the
Oh,
game,
it's a
but the ones they
fashion
wear
show. I mean,
to
it's
the
amazing.
arena, the ones they leave the arena in, like when I see them at their charity thing, the sneakers they have on for those, it's like
Hmm.
I see kicks constantly in my face. So it's like, all right, these things are, and some of them are cool, and I'm like, okay. I could rock some of these. So that's how like the interest started generating. And then the first pair
Drum
that
roll,
I got
please.
for free, not Nikes. And here's the
Mhm.
thing. See, this
I'm
is how
shook
it
right
works.
now.
You want to get somebody into something. It's like a drug dealer, man. You give them that first hit for free, and once they're in, we got them.
They're hooked.
They're
That's right.
hooked, right?
Hmm.
So shout out to Didier and Lauren and the good folks that Laura, excuse me, that rep Puma and the Clyde hard
Hey,
courts. These were the first pair that I got for free.
it's a nice
I was
shoe
like,
too.
it's a very nice
A
shoe. And I
good
said,
shoe
you
to
know what?
ball in.
First of all, it's colors that I enjoy. You see, I'm wearing red and black, right? I love black and red. Those were the colors of my high school. I went to Rutgers, so scarlet and white. Like, I mean,
Okay.
I love those strong red, black, those kinds of colors, and like white as basis for colors of sneakers. I think they're because you can match them with anything. That's the most
Everything. It
important
goes
thing.
with
How are they
literally
gonna match
everything
with
that
my
you own.
clothes? All right. So I got these, and once I got these, I was like, this is pretty nice. And so I started thinking, maybe I'll start looking into this a little bit more. And then we'll get into later some other stuff I got, comps. And see, that's the thing now. Now my whole thing is, man, I ain't buying none of this stuff. I better get comped everywhere because
You're so bougie. I can't keep up with you. I
these
don't even
things are,
know.
listen, but sneakers are so great because they're so multi-purpose. Because for me, I would often, if
Absolutely.
it's like the weekend or running around, I'd be in like race like loafers, like low Kohan, like black like driver shoes, and I'm like they're
Okay,
fine,
fancy. Yeah.
but like sometimes
I mean,
I
it's
don't
a
want to rock
vibe, but
that.
it's different. It's a different kind of vibe.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
Hmm.
and I just don't have enough like sneakers that I feel like are 'cause I have like running shoes, but I don't like to wear running shoes as like just my
No,
going about like town shoes.
it's absolutely very different. As someone who's recently gotten into running, and like, let's not get it twisted, it's more like a slow jog. But I have, out of all the sneakers I have one pair of running shoes that I actually run in, and I've had them for 7 years. And everyone finds this so strange because, I mean, my mom calls my sneakers my mortgage shoes because basically, like, I'm living in my apartment. And I was like, no, mom, those are Jordans. Those are more reasonable. I was like, the Yeezys, though, those are the mortgage shoes, mom. Like, I'm trying to teach Mama Rosenthal a little thing or two about a thing or two.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think like it's a different kind of vibe. Like I get stoked as a girl who's pretty tall that it's nice that I can wear kicks with a dress to an event. Like I went to
Yeah,
the Hennessy
yeah,
party that we went to at All Star.
yeah,
I'm rocking
yeah,
J's and it's so
yeah,
nice and I'm getting
yeah.
complimented on my outfit. I'm like,
Hmm,
my
hmm,
feet aren't dying. I don't have to be the girl
hmm.
that's like awkwardly leaning on the side of the bar, being like, is she drunk? Does she need to go home? I'm like, nah, just uncomfortable shoes, like looking like a baby deer at the end of the night. Like none of that. I'm like, great. I got my dancing shoes. ASAP
Yeah,
Road, watch out, man. Like I'm coming for
yeah.
you.
I think you're so
It's a
right because
vibe.
again, it is a vibe, and it, again, if I put on a pair of jeans, I mean, look, ain't nobody going anywhere right now because of COVID. But on a Friday night, if I'm
True.
going to dinner or whatever, I may not want to rock the loafers or the
No,
car shoes. But I don't necessarily want to wear tennis shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
what can I wear that's a
Easy with the
little
tennis shoes
bit
thing
more?
though. Like, why do we have to call them tennis shoes? Like,
I know they're
I
not
played
called
tennis
tennis. Come
growing up, and I find that slightly offensive. You know, like not all tennis shoes are those. Like, I know what you mean, like the walking sneaker.
Yes, the
Like,
walking
what is that?
sneaker.
Who needs a
Yes,
sneaker to I can walk barefoot? Like, why does that have to be a walking
exactly.
sneaker? What does that even mean?
Exactly.
Can we
What
talk
does it
about
even
that
mean?
someday? Mm.
Yes, we will. We'll
But
add
I
that
know
to
what
the
you're
list,
saying. We'll add that to the
right?
list. We'll put a pin in that for later. Cool.
So, guys, look at that. That means we
Yeah,
have another show because we got to talk about that. But yeah,
I get
that's the whole point.
excited.
Like, I just don't want to wear those walking shoes,
Mm-hmm.
because like there's whatever. So it'd be nice to have a pair that are a little bit. Ooh, I could do something with these.
A little
Now,
stylish. Yeah.
here's the interesting thing. Those Clydes are the first high tops I have worn since the 90s, the early 90s. After that,
No
after the 90s,
way.
yeah, because
Wow.
once I stopped with the basketball shoes. Oh, well, let me give
Mm.
you a little story. Remember when the Reebok pumps came out? Again,
Of course, I remember those. They
my
were
parents are like,
everything.
we're not buying you pumps. Those things cost over $100. So
Yeah,
I
they're
got the
like, you're 12.
bootleg.
No, thank you.
Right, I got the
Mhm.
bootleg LA Gear like knockoff imitation pumps with the little like slidey thing at the top that would let the air out. Terrible like bootleg. Those
I
are
don't
the
even know
last
about
pair.
those. I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe
exactly.
Interesting. Okay.
Exactly. That's the whole point. So when I went to school, kids were
Okay.
definitely like, "What are those?" Right? Like I definitely got clowned for those shoes. But listen, it was what it was. Couldn't afford the nice shoes, so that's what I had to rock. But once I did that, I stopped with all that crap. I was like, forget it. I'm not getting made fun of for not having dope high tops anymore. So I switched to like Gazelles and Sambas and like the
Oh,
low cut
gazelles.
Adidas and like,
Yeah, but that's still fire though. I think that's the thing. Like with sneakers, most people equate a good sneaker being an expensive sneaker, right?
right,
And I don't
right,
think that's
right,
necessarily the case. Like
right.
I rock my superstars all the time with skirts, dresses, and it's what, like $70 sneaker,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
affordable.
yeah,
Puma's doing
yeah.
some really cool stuff that's affordable. Even Nike's got some like
Yep,
mid-range
yep,
prices, like you
yep.
don't necessarily have to be rocking the most expensive to still have a fly look. So
Exactly. So for
thank
those,
you for
I'd be
coming
like,
to
all
my
right.
TED Talk.
I would rock those. So
Mm.
yes, those
Yeah,
Clydes, first pair of high tops since the early 90s.
love that
Yeah.
though.
Oh yeah. So that's our journey into sneakerdom or sneakerhead-ishness. We gotta workshop that.
I don't know. We'll work on that.
We'll workshop that.
We're like around. We're right around the area, but we'll get there.
We're gonna get
Mhm.
into Jordan stuff next because obviously, the Save the Last Dance documentary is out about the
Oh,
Bulls and their last championship. And he, in so many ways, Michael Jordan, that iconic Jumpman logo silhouette is the defining logo of sneaker culture. So we're gonna get into that.